Ryan, it's time to wake up. Wake up.
Judy, I'm trying to achieve rebirth and enlightenment.
We'll help you achieve some enlightenment with a new episode of Garden Time. Welcome to Garden Time. We're at Lan Su Chinese Garden and the late summer blooms are looking beautiful.
Coming up later in the show, I'll be talking to Justin about the lotus and the other great plants that are blooming in the garden right now.
And also, coming up in the show today, we'll have a late summer water checkup.
But coming up first, we'll head back out to Swan Island Dahlias to show you the different types of dahlia blooms.
I'm at Swan Island Dahlias today with Heather. And so Heather, we're in the display garden right now, right? And there are so many different kinds of dahlias here. And this is really a cool place to be because you could see them all in just a small space.
Yeah, it's really nice because you can get up close and see all the different styles. So dahlias come in such a wide range of styles, but also size.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
I mean, you kind of just see that. We go down from like 1 inch all the way up to 12 to 14 inches. And then you have all the different variations in between, which is exciting to see. I think it's one of those flowers that gives you a huge array of different looks.
Yeah, and so what's this one? Because I would think that's a Cosmo or something.
I know, it's one of the original 5 dahlias that was taken to England from Mexico to be hybridized.
Wow.
And so we consider it to be the wild dahlia, or one of them. And its name is D. sorensini, and it doesn't look like a typical dahlia.
Not at all.
But it does give us, it's the start, one of the beginning points of where we get all of these different hybridized dahlias.
Cool, and you're going to tell us the different kind of styles here. So let's start on your side.
So this is bashful. It's called a single, and just that it has actually just one row or a single row of petals. And most of these varieties are not good cut flowers. This variety, though, in fact, is a good cut flower, but it's very unusual of the style. And then we go to something like this that's considered a collarette, and they look very similar, but this guy has an actual little collar of petaloids in there. So they're kind of similar, and they kind of look somewhat like the original dahlia. And then they've been hybridized on, and we get quite a different array.
Sure.
These seem to be really popular, but they're anemones. So they end up with more of a pin cushion in the center with one row of petals. Not good cut flowers though. They tend to lose their single petals really quickly once they've been cut. Probably more the typical are these guys in the middle, and this is a formal decorative. And so there's some real tight classifications on what makes each one its style. So an informal decorative does not wrap all the way back to the stem, but it's pretty formal looking. And this guy is a ball, but a ball has to wrap all the way back.
Okay.
So then we go into, that was a formal decorative and a ball, and then we go to an informal decorative, which means it's not spiky enough to be a cactus, but it's not formal enough to be really tight. So kind of in between. Then we go to the cactus format, and you have a very straight cactus, or what they now just call a cactus, and it's pointed all the way. The entire petals are pointed. Then we have what's called a semi-cactus, where it doesn't seem to be as pointy as far, so it gets semi-cactus. And then, you know, most people consider these giants to be dinner plates.
Oh my gosh.
Dinner plate really just refers to a common name for its size, but it's not really a style classification. Those are informal decoratives in that they're a little ruffly and unusual and not formal looking. So
and just huge.
Huge, amazing.
And you can come and see those all during the festival. So just a really quick idea about that.
So the festival this year runs all the way through September. We are open 6 days a week, closed on Wednesdays, 9 to 5:30. You can see the beautiful fields. You can see the display gardens. We've got different classes, a farmer's market on Fridays, rotating food carts. Lots to enjoy. Of course, cut flowers available also.
Well, you know, it's just a little bit different for the festival this year, but you can really come and enjoy all the beautiful flowers. Please go to gardentime.tv and you can get all that information from all the websites. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, I'm out in Canby. I'm with Adriana with Empowered Flowers. And earlier in the season, we did a segment on the package of seeds in the Burgerville kids meals. And so it's great to be out here because this is where the seeds come from.
Yeah.
And so we are standing in front of, this actually pretty looking plant, but what is this?
So this is outrageous lettuce. This is a lettuce that was bred here in the Pacific Northwest by Wild Garden Seed, where I learned the foundations of seed saving. This lettuce is great because it went to space. It has this great story behind it, and it's delicious. It's this really vibrant red leaf that just pops on a hamburger.
Right, because we're used to seeing lettuce in our garden, which looks nothing like this, because we don't usually let our lettuce in our gardens go to seed. But to see the plants out here and the variety that you grow out in your gardens, and you're growing them for the seed, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So right now we're in the seed setting stage of this plant's life cycle. I don't know if you can pan to over here. It's just flowering. But this is the little white puffs is the seed actually setting. And we're 7 to 10 days away from being fully ready to harvest this, thresh, and package it up for Burgerville.
Right, and which is so cool because it's Burgerville's such a local company and supporting local, and you guys are here local, and you're selecting these seeds that are you're organically growing these seeds. And how do you harvest all of these?
So we are growing several different types of crops. We're growing a pollinator mix, which has all kinds of different plants and flowers. This specifically, what we will do with the lettuce is we will cut at the bottom of this plant, we'll lay it down, and then let it sort of finish maturing as it rests for 3 to 5 days. And then after that, we'll shake it into a bin. And in so doing, all of these little poofs, which is a seed connected to, it's like dandelions.
Okay.
How dandelion, you have a seed that's connected to a pappus,
Right.
is what it's called. So we'll thresh that into a bin, and then I'll be doing this process of winnowing where I separate seed by density and weight.
Right, so it's so cool that it's all hand grown, it's all hand processed, and the seeds are all hand picked, which puts a little extra kind of something really cool to their seed packets.
Yeah.
And you guys are growing several different mixes here and different plants. What goes into picking out the varieties that you're growing for the seeds for Burgerville?
Yeah, so in selecting what we wanted to do, we knew that we wanted to have open pollinated plants that were bred in the Pacific Northwest. That was our baseline, but also we wanted to center plants that have cool stories. This outrageous was grown in the International Space Station. We're also growing pickling cucumbers, which we think of as a great home activity that children can be doing and be engaging in food activities at home. We're doing a pollinator mix, which is great. We want kids to be a part of this revival of pollinator gardens and like having more pollinators around neighborhoods and caring more for our like native pollinator friends. So that's part of, on top of it being, Pacific Northwest bred, organic, open pollinated, we want it to be something that will inspire children to be taking on food activities or nature activities.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's so great to be out here in the fields and to see where these, where it's coming from, because we're so involved in now in where our meals are coming from and where our plants are coming from, that we love that local and we love that it's, we're supporting local, it's organic, and it's something really cool to be a part of. So, make sure you go to Burgerville, check out their kids' meals, get the seed packets, and their varieties are changing every year. So make sure you get the ones for this year and look for next year's seed packets to see what something fun that you can grow in your yard. So it's been a pleasure to be out here and see where it all comes from. So thanks for having us today.
Yeah, thanks, and enjoy it all.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature blooming advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
I'm down at the Lan Su Chinese Gardens. I'm with Justin. Justin, the lotus are blooming and they are spectacular.
Yes, they are. These are lotus that we used to grow in a greenhouse, but we have this winter we planted in our pond, and they're doing spectacular. And the lotus being the most important flower in Chinese culture for summer. It symbolizes, attaining your best self, from rising from the mud through the darkness of the water and attaining this incredible beauty. And so it goes back for thousands of years as a food plant also.
Interesting.
The seeds, the seed pod, the stems, which actually can be quite tasty with some garlic, and the roots, all used for medicinal purposes and for food purposes as well.
I had no idea you could eat a lotus.
They're quite good.
But there's lots of other things, aside from the lotus, that are blooming this time of year down at the garden. So what else would, people are coming down, could they see that's blooming?
Yeah, there are some plants that are blooming and fruiting right now that many don't associate with the Chinese garden. Of course, many people are familiar with the Silk Road that goes back thousands of years, and many plants made their way back and forth from the Middle East to China, and from China to the Middle East and Europe. Like the pomegranate, for instance, was first mentioned in Chinese history that we know of about 150 BC on our calendar, and is native to Persia but made its way in the Silk Road about 2,500 years ago. And then also the oleander, which you associate with the roadside in Southern California and all over the Mediterranean, is also a plant that made its way, it's believed, from the Middle East and made its way both ways to China and to Europe. And also we have the hibiscus, which is in full bloom right now, Hibiscus syriacus. The name would suggest Middle East, but it's actually native to China and Southeast Asia, and made its way back to the Middle East a couple thousand years ago via the Silk Road.
And so, you have a lot of these things that are blooming. The gardens are changing all the time, and there's always something blooming. But you also have some events that are coming up this fall.
We do. We have our Mid-Autumn Festival in the middle of September, and we have lantern viewings in the evenings during those 3 evenings, and tickets are on sale now.
So the gardens are always looking great. There's always something new and blooming, and there's so much symbolism with everything that's in the gardens. So make sure you come down to the Lan Su Chinese Gardens. You can go to their website, or you can go to gardentime.tv and click on there and find out all sorts of information for the events that are coming on and what's happening in the garden. So Justin, it's always a pleasure to be down here to view the gardens. They're looking great. So come on down and visit.
Thank you.
Occasionally, the Garden Time show experiences a blip and doesn't air correctly on the TV stations.
Other times, we hear from viewers that they miss the show because of vacations or other commitments.
There's nothing to worry about. You can find all of our shows and stories on the Garden Time YouTube channel.
If you go to the gardentime.tv website, you can find a link to our YouTube channel in the upper right-hand corner. On our channel, you can find the individual stories and the entire program, so you will never miss an episode or story. If you miss a detail, you can watch them over again.
So don't worry if you miss an episode. You can still get all of that great Garden Time information on our Garden Time YouTube channel.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
At Portland Nursery, we believe that gardening is a creative endeavor that enriches our experience, enlivens the spaces around us, and provides a safe haven for the mind. Portland Nursery has everything you need to make your space feel unique, inviting, and exciting. From houseplants and hedges to trees, tools, veggies, and herbs, our selection is always growing and changing, just like you. Come visit us today at 50th and Stark, 90th and Division.
Do you have a leaning or broken fence? Fix a broken fence with ease. Made in Oregon, the sturdy fence post bracket can mend your drooping fence. Strong wind, falling debris, dry rot, and wayward drivers can all cause havoc on your once sturdy fence. Our sturdy bracket attaches to your existing fence and is easily installed in 30 minutes. Limit waste, materials, and save money by fixing your existing fence. Purchase online at sturdfence.com or visit participating Par Lumber and Pro Build stores.
I'm with Kevin today from the Regional Water Providers Consortium. And so, Kevin, you know, everyone's remembering that June was a pretty wet month, but here we are in August and it is dry.
It is really dry, and that month was unusually wet. But the total rainfall that we've had is a continuation of a drought that's been going on in the state of Oregon for about 3 years. Right now, about 95% of the state is abnormally dry or above into a severe drought. So it was nice to have,
right.
But it certainly doesn't gonna cover July and August like we are now.
Right, so really coming into August here, it's a good time to kind of check our watering irrigation systems because we want to be efficient and we want to be effective. So what should we be looking for?
Well, it's really important. It's all about efficiency. Nobody wants to be wasting water. It's expensive and it's just not a good thing to do. So this time of year, you want to start re-examining your system, turning on, taking a look. Is it coming out into the sidewalk? Is it staying where it is? This place, as you can tell, has a pretty steep hill. Mm-hmm. Do you need to adjust that watering? Do you need to fire it up a couple times a day so that the water doesn't just run off, just shed off, so that it actually stays where you want it?
Right.
You need to look at your plant health. Some plants right now, they don't care, you know,
right.
They're fine and dandy, but other plants may be stressing a little bit, and so you want to take care that the ones that are stressed, that you're taking care of, but you don't need to turn the whole irrigation system on to do it. You can individually water those plants that are having a tough time.
And some lawns do go dormant. It depends on what type of grass you have.
Absolutely.
So really it could be something natural.
Absolutely. Here, we plant primarily what's called a cool season grass, which is basically a grass that once the ground temperature gets up above 65 to 70 degrees and the outside air gets 80, 85, its natural tendency is to go to sleep. It's not designed, it was never developed to handle high heat. So you are going to see probably some patches of yellow. And the only way to fight that is doing the thing that we don't want to see done, which is pouring a bunch of water on it, a bunch of amendments and stuff. So having a little yellow, I mean, we all know that come into September, we're going to be mowing our lawns again. It's not going to die.
Right. And then what about sprinkler heads and hose ends and connections?
Sprinkler heads, I strongly, there's two things that go on with the sprinkler system that you need to watch out for. One is pressure. The pop-up sprays that are commonly used out here, they're only made to work at 30 to 35 PSI. Most of us in this region in here are going to have 50 plus PSI, and what that does is it creates a mist. It's trying to push that water through the nozzle at such a rate that the nozzle can't handle it, so in order to get that water through, it atomizes, just like a spray bottle. Mm-hmm. And that water is lightweight, it's mini drops. So your drops aren't getting on the grass, they're blowing away in a breeze. Hose ends, you know, again, pick your sprinkler, pick what you need, and then just monitor it. That's the big thing is just, you know, I recommend to people all the time, if you're gonna set a sprinkler up, and a lot of people do, a lot of people hand water, and if you're gonna set a sprinkler up, pop up the lid on your meter and watch the spin on it and time it and see how long it takes to put X amount of gallons down, right. and then know that and get yourself purchase, or City of Lake Oswego offers hose timers. A lot of the stakeholders offer these. Get one. Set it for 15 minutes. Then you know you're not walking away and leaving it on for a long time.
Right. So Kevin, what about leaks? Because you know those happen.
Oh, all the time. Anybody that works in the garden, and right now with the COVID, a lot of us are working in the right. garden a lot more than we used to. Leaks are going to happen. It's really important. Again, it goes back to periodically walking around your system and just seeing what's going on, because in most cases leaks are going to show themselves. Fixing it as fast as possible, not ignoring it. One of the places we see a lot of leakage is in drip lines. And the reason for that is drip is covert. That's why we like it. It's underneath the bark mulch where we don't see it, but oftentimes we don't see the leak either. So it's really important if you got drip lines to actually walk that line to see it. The other thing is, as we spoke about earlier, that we are in a drought and the critters are looking for water. And drip lines are a source of water and they're easy to chew through. So a lot of times you're going to see leaks in your drip line that's going to be caused by bunny rabbits, gophers, moles. Everybody's looking for water, and that's a source, and they will chew through it. So if you have a drip system, keep that in your head, make sure that you check it a little more frequently.
And also, there you have a beautiful website that has so much information, and you can subscribe to the regional water number, and every week you get an email and how much you should be watering.
Exactly, and it's really good to use that. If you're fortunate enough to have what they call a smart controller, those can help you in a lot of ways, but there's nothing that's going to do away with those two eyes. Right. No matter how good that computer in that controller is or how good your weather station is, you still need to observe, because there's no one size fits all. There's always going to be parts of your yard that dry out faster or maybe collect the water more and stay soggy, and you just got to kind of tweak to find those places.
Well, those are all great tips. So just remember just to go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website and get all that information, and you can be a smart water person too. Thanks so much.
You bet. Thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Welcome to your all-new Capital Subaru. Let me show you around. Our showroom is bigger and brighter than ever before. Same great Subarus, same great people. It's an entirely new experience. You're going to love the new space. We've tripled our service department to get you in and out quickly. It's a game changer. We also have an amazing new dog park and some great unique spaces to check out. It's time to discover again.
The new Capital Subaru. Your way on the Parkway.
Little Baja is your source for a whole lot of terracotta and concrete too. From bird baths and benches to Buddhas, bears, and fountains, plus the exclusive Baja chimney. We have an amazing variety of the finest in terracotta and concrete containers. Come check out our selection of statuary for any garden theme or setting. So for something for the garden, deck, or patio, come see us at Little Baja on East Burnside in Portland. Find us on Facebook too.
I'm in Bend at Oregon Spirit Distillers with Kathy, who's actually from Meadowland Simple Syrups. And so how does this all work together?
Well, about 12 years ago, my husband started Oregon Spirit Distillers. And as time went on and we grew and had some private dinners for guests and fans of the distillery, we found we had syrup flavors we'd love to put in cocktails, but didn't have the flavors for. So I went home to the kitchen and started experimenting and came up with recipes to make different syrups to use in those cocktails.
And you have a partner in this too, don't you?
Yes, my wonderful daughter-in-law Katie Daisy is a fabulous artist, and she does all the designs. She does all of our kind of branding and marketing for the company, and that's her role. I run the business and run our production, which is now 2 employees.
And we met all of this product from Joelle at Smith Berry Barn, and so we were really interested. We made a cocktail, so really, can you show us really again how easy it is?
Yeah, you bet. So, simple syrups make everything yummier. So we can start with something like just a plain glass of lemonade, store-bought, fresh made, whatever you want to do, and add a little syrup to it to give it a little twist in flavor. Today I'm going to use our Secret Garden, which is a hibiscus tea base with passion fruit in it. And so we're going to add, it just really depends on your taste. I can do a ½ ounce to about an ounce if you'd like a much sweeter lemonade. And voila, you have a super easy, fancier drink to offer your guests or just to enjoy yourself at home. Go ahead.
And then simple syrup is really, it's sugar and flavorings.
Yes.
And so you really have a huge range here.
Yeah. So we start with pure cane sugar, and we add liquid to it. Sometimes that's water, and sometimes that's tea bases that we make ourselves out of dried botanicals, and other ingredients, fruits. We have some vanilla in some of our syrups, so we use a vanilla bean in those. And it's simple. It's called simple because it's pretty simple. You just boil sugar and water and liquid to a certain temperature point, and then add your flavors, let it cool, strain off anything that, any botanicals that were used in the process, and put it in a bottle.
And there you go.
Yes.
And you make a nice drink. And really, you can
Yes.
add something to make this an adult drink.
Sure, if you wanted to add like a gin or a vodka to something like this. Some of our syrups are more suited to whiskeys, and so they make some really lovely whiskey cocktails that we also make here at the distillery.
And really, you have a wide range of those. And then you have
Yes.
a new product that's just coming out this year.
Yes, at the distillery we just came out with a limoncello. It's called Luster. It comes in a classic flavor, and as well as strawberry and lavender, which is really great. Yeah.
And then we have to talk about the newest syrup
Yes.
here. And so tell us about that one.
Yes, so this is called Meteor, and this is a new release. It will be in stores after August 1st, and it is to celebrate Katie, our artist. It's to celebrate one of her new book releases happening this fall, about all things night flowers, the night sky, all kinds of neat celestial things. And the book is called How to Be a Moonflower, published by Chronicle Books. And you'll see it wherever Chronicle Books are sold.
Oh, that is wonderful. And really, so it's so nice to have that garden and beverage kind of connection. We love all that because we're big gardeners here. And so where can we find all this, maybe in the Valley, in the Portland area, Salem area?
Oh gosh, go to our website, meadowlandsyrup.com. And we have a page called a stockist page, and on that you can look by state and see all the stores that have us. And we have a huge amount of stores in the state of Oregon, but we are in 50 states. So
Wonderful.
we're everywhere. So find us there, and you can also order from us online through our website, and we'll ship to you as well.
Or come out here to Bend to your tasting room.
Yes, come to the tasting room where we carry every flavor that Meadowland makes and use it in a lot of the cocktails here too.
Well, thank you so much. It's really been so nice to meet Kathy and really learn about this and really learn how easy it is to use all of these simple syrups. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today, and make sure you come down to Lan Su Chinese Gardens to check out all the spectacular blooms.
For more information about today's show or any past episode, please go to gardentime.tv. Ryan and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week here on Garden Time.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.